Hi, everyone. Welcome to my real estate video conference. This is July 9th, 2020, and I will be starting momentarily. I want to remind you that I want to address situations and topics that are pressing for you in this delicate time that we all find ourselves in. So I will be posting a poll on my Twitter feed, and I strongly encourage you to either vote there if I've managed to get the topic that you're most interested in, or to post a topic of your own in the comments section. All right, so this was your choice for this time, real estate, and I'll be right back and we'll talk about it. Thanks again. Hi, everyone. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. So again, this is going to be on real estate. I think that the overriding theme here is that the world, most of the world, is in a recession, and most of the world is expected to have a challenging 2020. 2021 is predicted to be better, but 2020 is going to be challenging, and there will be high unemployment in most of the developed world. And there will be a contraction in the economy, and that can affect real estate. In many ways, it can affect real estate. So we're going to look at what happened in the Great Recession. We're also going to look at the statistics about where we are now in terms of real estate and other statistics, and then solutions for you. So I want to go through a couple of statistics that I think are very important for us. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen on a few of them as well. So here we go. So I think one of the most important statistics is that we currently have almost 33 million people that are in all of the unemployment programs. So again, this number can be slightly deceiving and underrepresentative of the amount of people that are receiving unemployment benefits of one kind or another. Also, so the contraction this year is expected to be 6.5% in the US. I want to also mention that in Canada, Canada was just stripped of AAA status by Fitch. I think that's a warning for the United States as well. So we both are countries with extremely high debt. Also, let's take a quick look at this chart. So this is in the US, but there are many areas of Canada that are experiencing the same thing, unaffordability. So in the United States, in 74% of the US cities, it's unaffordable for the people who live there. What does that mean? Well, it means that it would require more than 28% of your income to buy a home. Also in the United States, 8.4% of the mortgages are currently in forbearance. Now, we can look at, when I talk about unaffordability, I wanted to highlight this. In areas like Los Angeles, California, which are some of the most unaffordable areas, the average person would need to put 62% of their wages to buy a home. So what that tells you, if you're a home seller, is that your buying pool is going to get smaller. And if you're a home buyer, is that you may be buying very high. So it's really important to be on the right side of that transaction. It's a challenging world, it's a challenging environment, but there are solutions, and there are solutions that have worked in the past that can work again today. So let me start by saying that I'm going to follow this up with a blog that will list a lot of the challenges and solutions that we're going to be discussing here today. So you will be able to access that within the next 48 to 72 hours on the homepage at nataliepace.com/blog. Okay, so here are some of the questions. One, did you buy high? have you purchased real estate in the last couple of years? 2, are you spending more than 28% of your income on housing, whether it's a mortgage or rent? 3, passive income. Are you earning any money on your real estate? Did that change in a post-pandemic world? We're seeing that a lot of people are not able to pay their rent, or there's a new work from home trend. So if you own an office building, this may be heavily impacting you. You have to consider a post-pandemic world. You have to consider work from home. You have to consider that people are working from home if you want to be renting to them. You know, having fast Wi-Fi can be a competitive advantage. You have to consider high unemployment. Who is going to actually be employed? Who is going to actually be able to afford rent? Will rents go down? Is your rent too expensive? Is your yield too slim so that you can't be competitive if rents go down? Did you realize that 3.6 million homes are underwater at this point in the United States? That is an increasing, by the way. So if you're one of the people that are doing a loan mod that's getting a deal, or what you think might be a deal, where you can lower your payments. But the truth is that they've just piled on all of that debt to the balloon of your loan. And your loan is now 25% or more higher than the value of your home. And this is at an all-time high for real estate prices. That is not necessarily the deal of the century. And are you looking to buy right now? What would the best strategy for that be? So let's take it point by point. First off, did you buy high? What I want to say to you is that if prices weaken, then this could be a problem for you. You could have, your mortgage could be worth more than the home or the real estate that you own. In that scenario, your options start becoming very limited. Right now, you might have more options. You might be close to the purchase price that you paid for it, or it might be that you've actually enjoyed a little bit of an increase in a price. What I can tell you is that if you have made a bad investment, in other words, if you've purchased high and you are at risk of losing value in the property and you've mortgaged it, the sooner you address that situation, the better. So being sober about the analysis and acting now could be very beneficial to you. Okay, are you spending more than 28% of your income on your home mortgage or on your rent? If so, that was a problem before the pandemic. In the pandemic, it could be a bigger problem, especially if you've been impacted in any way in your income. Whether it's that you've been furloughed, or you're worried about losing your job or being downsized, or that you are just going to earn less for various reasons, whether it's no more overtime or whatever it is. So you need to start looking for solutions now. There is a web app at the homepage at nataliepace.com that has a Thrive budget in there. The basic premise is 50% to survive, 50% to thrive. The way really wealthy people get there is they stop making everybody else rich at their own expense. So they stop making the tax man rich. So earned income is the highest tax bracket. Passive income is a much lower tax bracket. Also, they stop making the health insurance provider rich. They stop making the landlord rich. How can you do that? What solutions are available to you if you feel like the only house you can afford is costing you so much of your income? Well, intergenerational housing, house sharing. There are many solutions that you could think of and that people have done in the past in order to get to a better place. I'm one of them. When I was a single mom struggling to survive and to save a home that was underwater, I was able to bear it out, sell the home high, get a bigger place for less money than it would have been if I got that tiny little place for just my son and I, in a better neighborhood, a better school district. So again, sometimes these solutions that are forced on us can actually provide us with the launch pad, the springboard that we need to a better life. It was absolutely the springboard I needed to a better life. I wouldn't be standing before you today had I not lightened my own load. So when you're buried alive in bills, when you're struggling to survive, you can't live in the land of your dreams. You can't create your dreams because everything is going to survival. Post-pandemic world, if you are a landlord or if you're thinking about becoming a landlord, you better be equipped with the tool set, the skill set, the mindset, and the business plan that is considering a post-pandemic world. Work from home, unaffordability, what do millennials want? What do active boomers want? Accessing and addressing what people really need and making it more affordable and cooler and more home-like is going to be the competitive advantage. Also, you're going to have to make sure that your tenant can afford to pay rent because we have high unemployment. And a lot of states are, whether it's the courts that are backlogged or the states that are being very generous for the people that are unemployed and saying, hey, you can't really evict them at this time. It's not going to pay for you not to be a lot more mindful about who you're going to be renting to and how you're going to make your place the place that they really love and want to be, as their abode. If you're looking to buy, underwater. So 3.6 million homes underwater. That means there's a lot of shadow inventory. So right now, if you're looking to buy and you're just looking in the multiple listing services and they're saying, oh, there's no homes out there. Well, you're not looking in the right place. When you shop in the shadow inventory, you usually can get up to 35% discount on retail. Now, it does require knowing where the shadow inventory is, how to access it, and how to make those deals. But that isn't impossible. So you could start educating yourself on that. Again, other than that, what could you do if you really want to buy right now? You could take your foot off the gas. Because in a recession, typically home values do go down. Let's use the Great Recession as an example. In the Great Recession, the high for real estate was 2006. And nationwide in the United States, real estate prices dropped 25%. Now, if you were in a place where they were the most bubblicious, like Stockton, California, or Bakersfield, California, or Miami, Florida, or in parts of Arizona, or in Las Vegas, then your real estate would have dropped by 50% or maybe even more. So it's really important for you to be aware of the fact that real estate, especially if you're a buyer, that real estate can go down and that it does take a while. The reason it takes a while is that the banks don't want to put all of the shadow inventory on the market at the same time because then the prices would drop too fast. So they do allow a spacing out of it. In fact, most of those 3.6 million homes that are underwater are people who didn't pay their mortgage for a very long time. Again, that money didn't just go away. It got tacked on, and that's why their mortgage is now 25% or more higher than the value of their home. So the bottom line here is that the solutions are that you really want to stop making everybody else rich at your own expense. There are more solutions available than you might realize. And again, accessing the blog will give you some of those solutions. I do offer private coaching as well. Intergenerational housing is a new trend. In fact, it's really going up. In fact, I'm going to share the screen with you a little bit on this one. Hang on. So this was the housing unaffordability map. There was the unemployment, the true unemployment. Now, that's where the GDP contraction in the US is expected to be. This is what I'm looking for. So in 2015, The amount of people who had their adult children living with them was 2.4%. The amount of people who had their parents, their elderly parents living with them, 10%. By 2019, the amount of people having adult children living with them was 15%. The amount who had their parents living with them was 12%. So this is absolutely a trend that is increasing. It is the way that many people are solving the problem of housing unaffordability. And when you think about it for a minute, having every single person live in their own tiny little abode with a very large dining room and a very large kitchen, which actually is small, but it's large compared to the amount of space that they're living in, compared to like a manor house where you'd have a large and beautiful dining room, a large, beautiful kitchen, and each of the actual private spaces would even be more luxurious, but it would be kind of like a bedroom with an office in it or a bedroom with a divan in it. So thinking intergenerational housing can actually provide more privacy. It's a better use of the space, and it keeps the money in the family instead of making everybody else rich at the family's expense. So again, being creative about solutions, it doesn't have to mean that nobody has privacy. It actually could mean that, again, you stop making the landlord rich, the taxman rich, all these other people rich at your own expense. So in summation, I just want to say that addressing this situation now, understanding that, look, the politicians are not going to admit we're in a recession until they have to. We've already been told by the NBER that we are in a recession. We're going to get the GDP, the second contraction on July 30th. We may hear about it July 29th when the Federal Reserve Board has their meeting and they do their press release. But we will also receive that information by the Bureau of Economic Analysis on July 30th in the morning. So you want to be ahead of it. You want to be problem solving now. And we're here to help. Also, I did get one question that was emailed in after my last video conference on gold. And this person said, do you think that gold can really go to $3,000 an ounce or even $2,000 an ounce? And how fast? And when will it get there? Well, I did just post a very extensive review on gold in my blog. So that was recent. I think it was like earlier this week. Go to my blog to check that out. The bottom line is nobody knows exactly what price that any asset is going to be and when exactly it will hit there. But what we do know is that things are favorable for gold, because when people lose faith in their currency, or there's too much debt or too much paper money floating around, then they do start thinking that something like gold would carry more value. So it is in favor. Now, the other thing that I found interesting, and I did post that in the blog, is that gold is above 1,800 an ounce as of yesterday. It finally cracked through that. The high for gold was 1,895 back in 2011. By the way, that was after the US was downgraded from AAA status by Standard & Poor's. So if we get downgraded by Fitch, that could also bode well for gold as well. So I think the other big headline on this is that some of the funds are not doing as well. And that is more to do with the fund companies. Because, as an example, there was a Dirección fund, Nugget, that was supposed to be a 3 times gold miners fund. And it is absolutely not at all performed up to its name. That has more to do with the fund company having issues. So they probably had liquidity issues, which a lot of exchange traded funds had on around March 15th. And that would probably have had to do more with their 3 times oil bull fund that absolutely tanked and went into the toilet. So we have to be cognizant that funds and fund companies can have issues. We also have to be cognizant that gold miners themselves are probably going to have a bad GDP report coming up in the second quarter due to mine closures. And other countries, like even Chile, which I also posted a blog on, they could have issues in the near and the midterm, the medium term, because of the COVID outbreaks and because of mine closures. So Chile is one of the most rich natural resources countries in the world. Its ETF is ECH, and it's been really, it's lower now than it was in the Great Recession. And that may already be priced in. So we have to be aware of that. A good strategy is not market timing or selling low or buying high. Like, people are always on the wrong side of the trade because they think, oh, well, if Chile, if ECH is so low, maybe it's going to just go lower, I better sell it. Or if Tesla is so high, maybe it's just going to go high, so maybe I should buy it. So if you're suffering from buy high, sell low syndrome, I also have a blog on that. So again, I'm going to show you a few more pages that I think it's really important for you to keep in mind before I close out. If you have any questions about real estate, they probably will be answered in the real estate blog. And if they aren't, then email them to us. And maybe that can be the basis of another blog. No guarantees. I'm writing and I'm researching as fast as I can, but it never hurts to ask. So let me share a few more screens with you before I let you go. So I also want to remind you that, okay, so here's nataliepace.com. And again, if you want to get to the blog, all you have to do is click on that menu and click on blog, and there you go. And you can then scroll down and you can see that the most recent blog here is the one on Chile and copper. And then if you scroll to the bottom, you'll actually see a list of the other blogs. So if you're interested in Facebook or cannabis or gold, or which countries are suffering the most in the recession of 2020, there's a chart there that you can look at right there, and you can read more up on that. I also want to remind you that the next financial empowerment retreat is October 3rd through the 5th. You get the best price, however, if you register by July 30th. So it's a very good idea to register now. Of course, there's an entire real estate section with case studies in the 3rd edition of the ABCs of Money. Again, the best way to access that is on the homepage at nataliepace.com. So if you're on the homepage, just scroll down and you should be able to see my book cover. And if you click on the book cover of any book that you might be interested in, it'll take you over to be able to purchase it. You can buy Kindle or paperback. I recommend this in the audio. All right, so the other thing I wanted to make sure you knew about is that I am wanting to address your needs in these free video conferences. So please take a moment, it only takes a second, to vote in my Twitter poll so that I know what you want me to discuss in our next video conference. Also, if I haven't mentioned what you think is the most important topic, please just comment and let me know what you are interested in, and we'll put it in there. All right, so again, I want to thank you again for joining me today. There will be a lot more resources in the blog, and I am here to help. Our team wants to help you. We love having you be our best testimonial. We love financial wisdom. We love financial literacy. I am a data geek. I love researching things. I love that our nest egg strategies and our real estate strategies have been saving homes and nest eggs since 1999. They are time proven. So all you need to do is learn them. And we're here to help you do that. Whether it's reading the books or attending the retreats or getting a second opinion or private coaching, just reach out. So again, 310-430-2397. That's our office number. And you can always reach us at info@nataliepace.com. info@nataliepace.com. And finally, take that poll and be active on facebook.com/the ABCs of Money. You can watch this back also on my YouTube channel. So it's just youtube.com/Natalie Pace. So again, thanks for being part of our community. Thanks for being my next best testimonial. Let's get smart. Let's get empowered. Partnerships are going to be key going forward. We're all going to need it. And the more people that we can save, the better. So I look forward to welcoming you into a closer participation in our community. And we definitely do that. Thanks again. I'll see you soon.